Hello, Timothy. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Go. Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah,
Yes,
we
I
do.
can.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Fine. What
Thank you
about
very
you?
much.
Yeah, doing good, man. Tired. I worked out for the first time today in the last year,
Oh,
so it's trying to get back to life after this last 2 years build. So it's good. Feeling good.
yeah, we are all the same, I guess. Thanks for coming here anyway.
No, excited
Uh,
to, man. Really appreciate your community.
Great, likewise.
Thank,
Uh,
thank you. If you let me, I will ask some questions because I know that you have no a lot of time. And thank you very much for joining us. And can I start asking some questions?
Yeah, sounds good. And we can always do this again. I'm going to give you guys
Okay.
a lot of attention.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, first of all, as you know, we already know you, but we have a lot of newcomers here. And can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm a lifelong developer. I worked on a lot of security infrastructure for banks most of my career, and I got involved in Bitcoin in 2010, but really didn't fully understand it until around 2012, is where I kind of dove really deep into the whole industry. I moved to California and became friends with Brock Pierce and Craig Sellers and Reeve Collins, and started hearing about these other networks, and got involved really early in Mastercoin and in Ethereum. So along the way, I've been working in the crypto asset industry now for over a decade, and I've been a part of a lot of projects, building a part of building a lot of projects, and a part of a lot of projects. But over the last 3 or 4 years, I was really kind of dismayed and disappointed on how developers' involvement was being handled. And so I founded the DEVxDAO as an organization to try to put developers first when considering token distribution for decentralized networks, allowing developers to decide the value distribution on hopefully a negotiated larger amount of tokens for networks that we can talk into donating to us. So I spent the last 2 years building out the DEVxDAO. I was really close and helped launch the Casper project, and they are our first donor. So we've been very excited to work with them. I've been really close to that project since the launch. But yeah, excited to be working on stuff and excited to get money out to the open source developer community of the world.
Uzun süredir işte kripto piyasasında blockchain'de geliştiricilik yapmış. Bitcoin'de haşır neşir olmuş. En son işin özü piyasada daha çok asıl akan paranın geliştiricilere ulaşmadığını gördüğü için, bundan rahatsız olduğu için DEVxDAO'yu kurmuş ve çalışmalarına bu kapsamda devam ediyor. Cevabını özet.
I know you talk a little about it, but I think our people want to know that what is the idea behind the from the Casper organization. Can you please tell us about your partnership with Casper?
Yeah, so I was involved with Casper from day zero, before it decided to be its own network, when it was just a bunch of devs trying to figure out what to do after a separate layer one project that they'd all worked on together. So ultimately, I have been involved very early on. I've known Renal and Cliff and Scott, the rest of the guys, for several years now, five plus years now. And when trying to launch the protocol, we talked about how to build a community and how to build the right type of community. And that was really to focus on developers and making sure that we were going to focus on developers that were, open source, and really trying to figure out the proper way to distribute that is what what we wanted to move towards. And so I was given this opportunity by them, and look forward to really executing properly with them.
Casper'ın ta fikir aşamasından 0. günden beri bu işin içindeymiş Timothy. Kurucularla zaten yakın ilişki içerisinde ve bir noktada bu topluluk nasıl bir topluluk olsun, topluluk tarafı işin nasıl olsun diye düşünmüşler ve geliştiricileri önemseyen, geliştiricilere ağırlık veren bir topluluk olmasına karar vermişler ve bu çerçevede de çalışmalarına devam ediyorlar.
Okay, thank you for answer. And other question, our people mostly expecting to learn about your grant program, of course, and who can apply to this program, and what kind of projects you are accepting?
Well, more documentation that's translated into multiple languages. Putting submissions through is as easy as getting through the application process. We're looking for many different things. As long as it's open source, it's relevant. It's going to have if you've got strong development past, you likely are going to show some initiative in our community. Then it should be a relatively easy process. We're looking for people to create original code, help out with communities, and just launch and build.
Herkes başvurabilir bir kere. Kimler başvurabilir sorusunun cevabı bu. Herkes başvurabilir. Herhangi bir kısıt yok. Bunun yanında başvuruları da ikiye ayırıyorlar. Bir, talep edilenler. Bir liste var DEVxDAO'nun sitesinde. İstenen, beklenen projeler diye başlıkları ve kısa tanımları olan. İsterseniz onlardan bir tanesi ilginizi çekiyorsa gidip doğrudan üzerinize alabilirsiniz ve ilgi gösterdiğinizi söyleyip iletişime geçip onun üzerinde çalışıp bir başvuru yapabilirsiniz. Veya o listede olmayan kendi fikrinize, özgün fikrinize de bir başvuru yapabilirsiniz. Başvuruların içeriğiyle ilgili de genel iki kısma ayrılıyor yine. Birincisi bağışçıların ağları üzerinde geliştirilecek veya onlara katkıda bulunacak şeyler. Mesela Casper Network üzerinde geliştirilecek şeyler gibi. Diğeri ise genel açık kaynak projelere katkıda bulunacak projeler. Burada amaçsa aslında birçoğumuzun farkında olmaksızın sürekli kullandığı birçok teknolojiyi, interneti ayakta tutan teknolojileri bir yerlerde açık kaynak geliştiriciler geliştiriyorlar sürekli. Ve bunlara bir nevi karşılığını ödemek istiyor DEVxDAO bunu. Daha çok belge çevirisine ihtiyaç olabilir, bakılabilir. Hani başvurularda çeviri olabilir, gerekli şeylerde. Başvuru çok zor değil, başvuru süreci. En önemli kriterler çalışmanın açık kaynaklı olması,
certainly now your testnet process is going on, and our people, of course, want to know when this process will finish or any date for intensive.
So I'll speak to that. So that the process is actually being run by Michael Stoyer, as he was the one who initiated that grant. The expectation is that it will continue to run for quite a while, but we'll probably trail down some of the users, right? So we'll probably do the top X amount of users. I think the next culling is going to be like the top 400 users, as it's gotten to about 1,000 people so far. But ideally, those that now will be receiving value from having run it the last couple of months, they will look into seeing what other grants they're eligible for. You know, a lot of the early stuff that we're looking for isn't necessarily extremely difficult. And we're looking for people just to show initiative and push things through. There will be different values and bounties that the testnet runs for a while, and we may eventually go into more of like a like a beta net similar to what Kusama is to Polkadot. That is possible. We might go into that sort of I lost you guys there. To that sort of platform, but we haven't decided yet. And so I'd imagine there's going to be a reduction in the total number of payout on the testnet from July on. But then I think that there'll be a migration over to a new network of value, probably sometime in September or so. So it should still be interesting, and there should still be value to be created.
Kısaca daha önce grupta konuştuğumuz minvalde bir cevaptı. Testnet devam edecek. Yine büyük ihtimalle ödüller de devam edecek. Ayrıntılar tam belli olmamak üzere X sayıda katılımcıya ödül verilecek ve bu X sayısı muhtemelen azalacak. Ama ilerleyen aşamalarda işte bounty'ler ve çeşitli görevlerin de olduğu farklı bir yapıya da bürünebilir.
Teşekkürler Mahmut. Thank you very much, Timothy. I asked this question because, as you know, we have a lot of newcomers, and when they heard that Casper is making a testnet process, and they also want to join this testnet, and asking almost every day this question, and so I want to ask that question. Thank you very much. And I want to now ask to our community, do you have any questions, Timothy? Because
ben bir soru sorabilirim hocam. Grant başvurularında projeleri değerlendirmek üzere iki kısma ayırdıklarını söylediler. Şimdi biz projemizde onlara gittiğimiz zaman proje hani açık kaynak olacak proje. Evet, ama proje fikri korunacak mı? Yani proje fikrinin çalınma durumu olabilir mi? Bu konuda bir önlemleri var mı?
Since the grants are for open source projects, are there any measures against intellectual property protection?
Tough place to ask, right? So we would probably fund the parts of a thing that are going to be open source. We're not going to fund parts of things that are going to be trademark withheld or copyright or our IP withheld. But oftentimes I think, especially when releasing products that are financial technology projects on these networks, you have to be clear and open with the software and the code that you're developing. So my thought is in the pipeline. So we're going to be, announcing those over the next couple months. But right now we're getting our grant decision portal, more efficient and making sure that we can do our job well without having it be too arduous for all those involved, the voters involved. So we're going to try to really refine it, make it better. But the goal is to really truly be an agnostic, organization and have many different donors that will see the vision and let us help them decentralize and put value into the hands of developers worldwide.
Sadece Casper değil, farklı blockchain projeleri de elbette planlıyoruz bünyemize dahil etmeyi, bu programa dahil etmeyi. Amacı DEVxDAO'nun sadece Casper'a özel bir yapı olmak değil, birçok projeye yardımcı olan, birçok projenin geliştiricilere değer dağıtmasına yardımcı olan bir yapı olmasını sağlamak. Bunun için çalışmalar olacak. Şu anda fakat daha çok sisteme oturtma, işte portaldaki sorunları giderme gibi noktalara değiniliyor.
Teşekkürler Mahmut Hocam. Thank you very much. And another question, Timothy. One of our members asked that how we can help DEVxDAO to improve their organization as a Turkish member.
Yeah, so first off, trying to figure out ways to come together as a community yourselves to determine, who can, for applications. I'd love to see some, Turkish-led applications for grants. That would be the best way to get involved and get started now. If you finish a grant, then you can become a voter. When you have that's the highest level and position of the DAO. There's no leaders, only voters, and having a number from the Turkish community to vote would be fantastic. And then once that happens, ideally, with the eventuality of being able to hold your own, meetings and being able to educate other people on how they can enter into the DAO and how they can apply and how they can be more useful. So for now, it's just getting some early grants done would be the best part, and then becoming a voter through that process.
Yeah, I hope.
Kısaca hani burada bir topluluksunuz, bir araya gelin, fikirler çıkartın, başvurularınızı yapın, projelerinizi tamamlayın. Projeleri tamamladığınızda siz de artık oy hakkı olan üyeler olacaksınız. DEVxDAO'nun içinde üyeler arasında çok sayıda Türk görmeyi isteriz diyor.
Okay, thank you very much, Muhammed Hocam. And I will ask last question. I know you have a meeting, so this will be the last one. One of our members asked that in the future testnet, can we cooperate as a test run with DEVxDAO?
Absolutely. You guys have shown up. You guys did such an amazing job. Follow
Thank you. Have a good day.